Norman, you did speech number 3, get to the point, in the manual. The purpose of the speech, you needed to have a general purpose. And general purpose is inform, persuade, entertain, or inspire, and you were in the inform category. And then you were to have a specific purpose. Another, what would we take away from the speech? What would we learn since you did inform? Organization, beginning, middle, end, and no notes. So that's what we're gonna review today. Your speech was on artificial intelligence, which is a massive, massive area, right? Very interesting. Anybody who's a sci-fi movie buff probably had some movies in their mind. I'm not a sci-fi movie buff, but I had some movies in mind when I was listening to you, right? So there's this big topic, and your speech was to bring it down to some things that we could identify with. So that's the purpose of your speech, or that's the purpose that you took for the speech, is to make it more relatable to us, the stuff that we do every day, right? That's what you were portraying to us. And you did a good job with humor. I like how you started the speech with, okay, what's 4,500 times 62, or whatever it was, just showing that machines can do some of the things that we can't do, but that doesn't mean that they are intelligent beings. And then I really like the Snapchat filter of the guy bursting into flames. I like that. So those were good ways to bring us in and get us interested in what's going on. Because the purpose of the speech is to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, that is an area for you to work on. It was hard for me to tell in the middle what you were trying to share with us, right? So you opened it up, you say, hey, look at this cool thing, and you were talking about artificial intelligence and setting it up. Now, you were talking about face recognition, I know that, and that the photos that could take different angles and how that's growing. I think that was the purpose of what you were saying. I got a little lost. The old adage of tell people what you're going to tell them, then you tell them in 2 to 3 points, and then you reiterate what you just told them. The reason that it's there is because it works. As an audience, we cannot see your outline, we don't know what you're going to talk about, and unless you tell us what to look for, it gets a little hard. So I think that in and of itself is going to help tremendously. So here's what I'm going to tell you about artificial intelligence today. 1, 2, 3, tell us about it, and then a conclusion, because your speech ended a little abruptly, right? I think that's all that needs. You had good information, it was interesting, it was a big topic, you narrowed down, you did all of that very well. Just think about us as someone who cannot, because when you do your own speech, you do it many, many times in your head, it makes sense to you, but not necessarily to us because we're hearing it for the first time. So overall, I think you did really well. One thing with where you were standing, because you wanted me to watch for your voice, because you received feedback that your voice isn't loud enough. So I think you compensated by doing this. So when you do this, you leave all of us here behind. So keep that in mind. And you still have a few nerves. You were doing this type of thing. That just takes time. Don't worry about it, but just be aware that that's what you tend to do. And once you're aware of it, it usually takes care of itself. So good speech, tell us what you're going to tell us, and look at your body language. Thanks, Norman.